Happy Saturday, everyone. How are you doing this evening? I am so happy to be here. I'm happy to be celebrating another anniversary for Singing Tips and to be celebrating it with you. So I'm really excited. Hi to all the replay viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm really excited. This is an anniversary show for me. And so, hi Tim. Thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Hope you're having a great weekend. Really excited to be here today to celebrate my anniversary for Singing Tips. Last week I got it wrong. Oh, thank you. Last week I got it wrong. I said it was my second anniversary, but it's actually my third anniversary. So I'm going into my fourth year of Singing Tips. I'm really blown away because it just doesn't seem like it's been that long. But time flies when you're having fun, and I'm having a really great time with this. Hi Dina, thanks so much for coming in. Thanks so much for coming into my anniversary show. Celebrating 3 years. Last week I got it wrong. I was announcing my second year anniversary, but it's actually my third year anniversary with Singing Tips. So I'm really, really excited and blown away that it's been 3 years. It's hard to believe. But 3 years of coming on every week and bringing you guys value, it's been really exciting for me. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy that you guys have stood by me all this time. I really appreciate your engagement. That's the most important thing. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate your engagement. I mean, that's the most important thing for me. Just knowing that, you want this and you find value out of this. This is why I do it. I learned last year that this show is not for me. This show is definitely for you. So, that's why I do it. I mean, sometimes I have to admit, sometimes I'm tired. I don't want to do it. And to be honest with you, usually those are the best shows. The shows that I push myself and I just do it anyway turns out to be the best shows. So thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. I'm really excited. Like I said before, I was a little shocked to learn that this is year 3, because I think, sometimes when I've been kind of like a little bit on autopilot, so I just really didn't realize. But when I was going back through and reviewing the material, it's really amazing, like the wealth of material that I have shared. And even this past year, from 2018 to 2019, I have three takeaways from the year. I have my top 3 shows that I enjoyed. And I want to get your input as well. After I share my stuff, I want to find out, like, what are your takeaways? Hi, Benjamin. Thanks so much for coming in. What are your takeaways from the show? What did you learn last year? I want to find out from you, but I'll share my takeaways and just my information first. But I really would like to know, like, what from this show have you found value? What do you like most about the show? What kinds of shows that you find more value out of? Do you like the shows where I interview people, my Ask the Expert shows? Do you like the shows where I'm traveling and I show you parts of New York as well as Singing Tips? Do you like the shows where I'm just giving you value? So I just was curious to know, like, which shows you like the most. But first of all, I want to give you a little bit of history of Singing Tips. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Benita Charles, and I'm a New York vocalist, songwriter, producer from New York City. And I come on every week and I give singing tips, business tips, marketing tips for people who have a business and who want to further themselves and market themselves. So I share my experience as a singer, and I do research also on certain things that I don't know. And also I have interviews with different people. We didn't do as many last year as we did in year 2, but I have a feeling that in year 4 coming up, we will have more, because I actually reached out to some people who are interested in doing some interviewing. So, we'll have some shows where we'll have other people, because, there's a lot of experts out here, and I don't want I don't want you to think I know everything. So it's nice to speak to other people and find out from other perspectives and other experiences. So, but yeah, so anyway, I want to give you a little bit of background of singing tips. So I started this in 2016, and I didn't realize, like I said before, I thought, oh, going on my 2nd year anniversary, but actually this is my 3rd year anniversary. I started in 2016, and the first show actually was April 9th, 2016. But I decided to celebrate the anniversary the last Saturday in April, because it just makes it a little easier in terms of the calendar. But I started my first singing tip show in April of 2016, and it was really just a fluke. I got on camera and I shared because I was directing it towards beginner singers who just, they didn't know what to do. Because that's who approached me, and I got the idea of a teaching series for beginner singers. So my very first singing tip was in April 2016. I got online and I just told them what I thought the top number 1 singing tip for someone who don't know anything, and that was to just start singing, learning songs and practicing. So that was the very first singing tip that I did 3 years ago. And then I decided to do like a curriculum, so it was I had like an outline, I had lessons, and each lesson built on each other. So that was year 1, and I created the show part and the business part. The show part was everything about your talent, everything in front of the stage, basically your talent, performing in front of an audience, writing your songs, your image, your communication, how you look, your appearance. And then I had the business part, which is marketing yourself, getting money, making money from your art, and negotiating, and all the things behind the scenes that really is the financing, but that drives your talent. So that was year 1, and into year 2, it was a lot more structured, and it was I had lessons. But last year, year 3, it was pretty much all marketing, and it was unstructured. I didn't really have a set program in the way I did years 1 and 2. And also in years 1 and 2, I had more guest experts. I also did more traveling, where I went around the city and showed different parts of the city. So year 3, which was last year, 2018 through 2019, I didn't do a whole lot of that. It was more strictly just marketing, lessons on marketing. And so that just gives you a little bit of background of how I went about it. But I have top 3 lessons that I've learned in year 3, which was last year. So the first lesson is always show up. And I have a footnote to that, especially when you don't feel like it, because there were many times last year that I really did not feel like getting on. I was tired. I had a long week. But to be honest with you, as I said earlier, those were usually the best shows. The shows where I pushed myself and I just went on anyway. So I want you to take away from that sometimes you have to push yourself. Hi, Auntie. Last week, Auntie, I said it was my 2nd year anniversary, but it's actually my 3rd year anniversary. I've been doing this for 3 years. I didn't know it. But yeah, so this is my 3rd year anniversary going into year 4. But I'm sharing right now the top 3 lessons that I learned in year 3. So year 3 is 2018 through 2019. So the first lesson is always show up. There have been times when I was really tired from my long week. Oh, thank you. I know, right? 3 years. And I came on anyway, and usually those were the best shows. I usually got something out of it. I usually shared something, and someone let me know that it was something that they needed to hear, and I thought, wow, I didn't even feel like going on, but it really, really gave me that lesson that, hi, Ifoma, hello, thank you so much. My auntie's online too. Thank you. I got all my Detroit crew on. But yeah, so usually those were the shows where the better shows were the shows where I had to push myself to come on. So number 1, always show up. These are lessons that I learned from year 3 of Singing Tips Live. So number 2, there's more than one way to market yourself. So the whole year was all about marketing and different ways you market yourself, online, offline. So I learned so much about marketing that it's such a broad topic, but there is so many different ways to market yourself. And number 3, my fans are amazing. So I didn't really have to learn that, but I want to throw that in there, that you guys are the reason why I'm doing this. I learned last year, and that was one of my lessons that I shared in my 2nd year anniversary show, was that this show is not for me, it's for you. You are amazing. You really make it worth it. And just so you know, I love the engagement, so please keep it up. I really love when you let me know what you like and let me know how you like it. So I really, really appreciate it. So those were my top 3 lessons for year 3. Number 1, always show up. Number 2, there's more than one way to market yourself. And number 3, my fans are amazing. So now I want to share my top 3 singing tip shows for the year. So the first one that I have is the band Hanson. So I did a show about the band Hanson. Now they're a 90s band. They were young kids, and they had a band, and they had this song called Bop. I don't know if you guys remember that. This show aired on August 8th of 2018, and my key takeaway from the show was the band, they were signed to a major label, and somehow or another down the line, Island Def Jam Records bought out the label. I think they were with Mercury Records. Island Def Jam, they merged Mercury into their roster, and when they did, they had no clue in terms of how to market this band, and they didn't promote their music. So they end up leaving the major label. They formed their own record label. They formed a beer company, and they had a music festival. And one of the things that really impressed me was the fact that they created their own opportunities, and with all of their ventures, they incorporated their music. So they were able to promote their music. They did their own music, and they didn't let a bad situation stop them. So to me, that was one of my favorite shows, and that aired on August 5th, 2018. The second favorite show of mine was an Ask the Expert show. Oh, hey, Bill. Thanks so much for coming in. Randall, really appreciate it. It was the Ask the Expert show where my director, Jason Thompson, talked about my music video, Never Ever Give Up. And that show aired on October 21st, 2018. And it was amazing for me because, first of all, I loved the video. I thought he did an awesome job with it. But in the show, he really talked about his vision. He talked about his approach. He talked about how difficult it was to actually do the video, and he made it look so easy because the video is amazing. But he talked about the locations, because he picked the locations, he picked the actors. He really went above and beyond, and I loved the finished product. So that was one of my favorite shows. And my next favorite show was the show that I did on Macy's Stories, and that aired recently April 13th, 2019. And I love that show because that was one of the only shows this year, this season, that I actually did, that I went away, I did like a location thing, and then I did the actual show. And I did that a lot more in years 1 and 2, and I really didn't do that a lot in years 3. But it was a really great show because, I was able to go off site, show you guys around Macy's Stories, and then I did my show. But one of the things I really loved about that show was Macy's, they had a store within a store, and they did their store within a store like an Instagram story. They had different rooms. Each room had a different color that represented something. All the products in that room was coordinated with the color. They had an interior designer that really designed everything. But the biggest thing was they got people in the store. And, with online shopping and different things, a lot of people aren't going to stores. So they basically brought something online, an Instagram idea, to bring people physically in the store. So I thought that was so ingenious, and I thought that was something that we all can do in our own businesses. Like, think outside the box, think bigger, think in ways that incorporates today's technology, thinking in terms of online, if you have a physical store, thinking of ways of getting people in that store, using the internet, using marketing ideas like Instagram. So to me, that was like an ingenious way of bringing, because it got me in Macy's. I haven't been in Macy's in years. It got me to go to the store. I saw a news story on Fox 5 News here in New York. It made me curious, and I went to the store. So I thought that was a great way that we all can use. We all can use PR. We all can use media and marketing, of doing something different to spark people's interest and to draw people to you. So to me, those were my top 3 shows of this season, year 3 of Singing Tips. So number 1 was the band Hanson. The band used they infused their music in everything they did. They created their own their record label. They created a beer company. They created a festival. And one of the great things about it was, when they created the beer company, they found a whole new audience besides their musical audience. And then they had a festival, and they incorporated the music with the festival and the beer, and it just ingenious. Number 2, another show that I loved was when my director Jason Thompson talked to the audience about how he envisioned and how he directed my music video. And a lot of things that he did was he picked the location, he found the actors. He really helped. I gave him a small idea, and he just took it and ran with it. So that was my favorite show. That show aired on October 21st, 2018. The Hanson show aired on August 5th, 2018. And the Macy's Stories recently aired on April 13th, 2019. Thinking outside the box and drawing people in to market your product and to sell. So I thought that was really ingenious, and those are my top 3 shows. Ask the Expert for year 3. Of course, I mentioned Hanson, the band Hanson. I just felt like their story resonated with me, and also I felt like you guys could really learn from that. Jason Thompson, of course, my director for my video Never Ever Give Up. And I did a couple of shows early on. Kylie Jenner, you guys know from the Kardashians. She is a social media influencer and also entrepreneur. She has her own makeup company, but her post generates millions of dollars, just her. And if she endorses someone, if she endorses a product, or, she gets so much money from that. So I thought that that's something that we all can learn from, especially if you have your own followers. Leverage your followers. I'm not saying use them, but I'm just saying that you can develop a relationship with your followers, and they're more willing to invest in you if you invest in them. So I thought that she's a good example of that. And of course, the queen of marketing, Beyonce, I did a show on her. But Beyonce is a great example in terms of marketing your brand and making your brand so solid that you don't even have to advertise. You just post something, and if you're selling something, people will buy. But Beyonce is an excellent example of someone who uses her brand and markets herself brilliantly with her Coachella performance, her Lemonade album where it was all videos, her HBO specials. Everything she does is calculated, but branding to the hilt. Like, if you want to learn about branding and marketing, just follow her. So those were the experts for 2018. So now it's your turn. I want to find out what was one of your favorite shows, or what did you learn from last year? Let me know. I'm really excited. So, okay, I'm kind of corny. So I have some. I'm so excited. So I have some pillows here that, because if you make me laugh, you're going to get this. But of course, love you guys. Always. Boy, and Chris to you. So now your turn. It's your turn. I want to find out if you can remember, because there were like quite a few shows. I went through all of them tonight. But if anyone would like to share? Hi, Carlos. If anyone would like to share, like, did you have a favorite show from last year? If you can remember, what was it? And what did you learn from it? Or if you didn't have a favorite, maybe not a favorite show, but if there's something that you learned from last year, let me know. I would love to know. Just curious to know. Anyone would like to share? If you share, you get a prize. So let me know. I'm so sorry. Giving you guys a moment. Anyone? Are you thinking? Yeah, I was really amazed that this was year 3. I mean, so this is, I'm sorry, oh, here we go. Yeah, I was really amazed to learn this was year 3. Hi, Cordelia. Hello. Thanks so much for coming in. So anyway, I don't know if you had a chance to see some of the shows. Hi, darling. How are you? I'm asking people if there was anything that stood out from them in terms of singing tips. If there was any lessons. Everyone's really quiet. Now, I gave you guys a homework assignment last week. Thank you, Sala. Okay, so Auntie, since you are the first person to respond, you get a prize. You get a copy of my Never Ever Give Up CD and workbook that I created with it. So that is your prize. So thank you so much. You are the first person to respond. So you get a copy of my Never Ever Give Up CD and workbook. Oh, thank you. So, you know what? I did have the tribute. I wrote that down first, and then I took it out. So that was one of my favorite shows too, because she was an artist that really inspired me early on, that really made me want to be a singer. So it really was very touching for me to pay tribute to her. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you like that. Thank you for responding. You get a big kiss from me. Yes. But yeah, thank you. Those are my 2 favorite shows too. Absolutely. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm like I said, guys, I'm so excited to learn that it's my 3rd year. But it's amazing to me. I learned a lot these 3 years. and looking forward to year 4. I'm not exactly sure. So you love the show on your first year on handling unexpected. Oh, the kids. So what my aunt is referring to is the first year I was out at Morningside Park and I was singing. I forgot what the show was, but I also sang "We Can Make a Difference," and there were these teenagers in the background. They were photobombing me, and then they were just, "Hi, Donnie," and then they just got sillier and sillier. And then one of the kids fell. It was a mess. It was a mess. But what I did was, instead of, being nasty or rude to them, I just incorporated them in the show, and I told them, "Hey guys, you're live," and they were like, "What?" So and they just got the biggest kick out of it because they wanted to. They were big hams, and as I am too, but they just got the biggest thrill out of the fact that they were movie stars. So it could have turned really ugly, but they were good kids. They weren't really, they weren't bad kids. They were a little rowdy, but they enjoyed it. They really loved the fact that they were on TV, so it was good. It was funny. It's hilarious. I think I posted it on YouTube, but if I didn't, I'll put it on YouTube and I'll let you guys know. It was really hilarious. I think it's on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube channel, I have a lot of the shows posted. I really didn't post a lot from last year, but today I was thinking, I was going back through the shows. There were some really good shows. I said, you know what? I should put this stuff on YouTube. So you may see some more stuff on YouTube. But that was a really great show. Yeah, the first year. Oh, I would like to ask you guys, do you like the shows where, which shows do you like better? Do you like the shows where I have the experts? Do you like the shows where I'm traveling and I go to different places and I show you different places in addition to the singing tips? Or do you like just a regular teaching? So would be curious to know, even if you don't want to answer right now, but just put it in the comments later. But I would be curious to know which shows you like the best, because we could do more of them, or if you have any suggestions of some things that you'd like to see, let's do that for year 4. I like to incorporate your suggestions or things that you like the most. So let me know. I think that would be a good thing to know. So anyone else would like to share any takeaways or anything that they learned from singing tips? Really appreciate if you would. If you don't want to do it now, you could do it later. But yeah, so as I was going back over year 3, there was a lot of information. It was more, I feel like year 3 was more a year of information. The first 2 years, it was a lot of variety. It was different things going on. There was, more guest experts. I do have some people coming up that express interest, so we will have more guests coming up in year 4. But yeah, year 3 was really the year of information, so it was more information than anything. But yeah, so I would be curious to know, which shows that you like the best, what format or subject matter. Hello, Lavelle. We are celebrating 3 years with Singing Tips live. Not 2 years, but 3 years. Hello, how are you? So I'll go over it again. We have our friend Lavelle here. Before I go, so I shared, and I know you've been watching for several, a lot of shows. So can you share with me, what's your favorite shows from last year? Any takeaways that you from the year, from year 3? It was really the year of marketing. It was all about marketing and how to market yourself, just different things involving marketing, but very important things that we need in terms of promoting ourselves and our brands, in terms of selling our products and services. So yes, can you believe it? 3 years of singing. I was floored. I really thought it was year 2, and I thought started in 2016. I didn't realize that. I started in 2016. My very first singing tip show, I was rehearsing for a private gig, and I just went online. It was April 9th. It was April 9th, 2016. Hi, Glenn. Thanks so much for coming in. 3 years. I cannot believe it. I mean, I'm happy, but it was just like, wow, I didn't realize. Time flies when you're having fun. And it's a lot of fun with you guys. So my top 3 lessons I learned for year 3, number 1, always show up. Number 2, there's more than one way to market yourself. And number 3, my fans are amazing. So those are my top 3 lessons that I've learned for year 3. My top 3 shows that I really enjoyed was the show I talked about, the band Hanson, and that was August 5th, 2018. My director for my video, Never Ever Give Up, Jason Thompson, he talked about the process and you know how he went about. Oh, thank you. So since you're the second person that answered, Lorville, you get a copy of my Moments in Love CD. This is my very first CD, volume 1. So DM me your address and I'll send you a copy of Moments in Love. That's your prize for answering. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. But so my top 3 shows I said was the band Hanson, August 5th, 2018. Jason Thompson, my director for Never Ever Give Up video, he talked about the process, and that was October 21st, 2018. And the Macy's Stories show, which aired April 13th, 2019 this year. Thinking outside the box and how to bring people into your stores or bring people to you who you've lost along the way or new people. So I thought that was an ingenious way that they got people to come. They got me to come back. I haven't been to Macy's in years. They got me to come back to Macy's. So that was amazing. And my experts for the 3rd year, the band Hanson, Jason Thompson, my director, Kylie Jenner, social media influencer, entrepreneur, and Beyonce, musician, social media influencer, and marketing queen. So those were the experts for year 3. As I said before, thank you. As I said before, if you guys have any suggestions of any of the shows that you would like, or if you let me know the format. Hi, darling, how are you? Thanks so much for coming in. So thank you for coming into my 3rd year anniversary show for Singing Tips Live. I can't believe it's been 3 years, but it's been 3 great years. And so I do shows where I have guests. I also do shows where I go to location, kind of like a traveling thing. And so I'm just was curious to know, like, which shows you guys like the best. Do you like the shows where I'm, interviewing people? Do you like the shows, I'm losing my mic, where I'm going to locations? Just trying to think. Oh my God, can you believe Off Wall Street Jam? Yes, that is. So if you guys don't know what Off Wall Street Jam is, it was, it's like a recreational musicians, and they get together and they perform, they practice, they jam, they perform. And so I met Donnie, who's a great bass player, through Off Wall Street Jam. Thank you, Donnie. Yes, 3 years. So excited. Okay, I'm behind on my balloons. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can't believe it's been 3 years. It's been 3 great years, 3 interesting years. Never a dull moment on Singing Tips. As my aunt shared earlier, I had some kids photobomb me and just basically took over the show. But it was fun. And interesting locations, but yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I'm just curious. So if you don't want to say it now, leave it in the comments. which shows you like the best. My aunt had told me, she shared with me that she likes shows where I talk more about my experience with the music, because it gives her some behind the scene, things about the music and industry and all that kind of thing. So let me know what you like, and we'll incorporate more of that in year 4. So looking forward to the new year 4 coming up in Singing Tips. More advice, more tips, more experts, maybe some few surprises I don't want to share right now. I'll let you be surprised. Bishop, hi. Bishop Ira, thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. I want to thank you guys for all of your support. I really appreciate it, really from the bottom of my heart. It means so much that you come in you've been coming in for 3 years. You come in every week, and I really appreciate that. Looking forward to bringing more value to you guys, and I'm looking forward to your suggestions. Looking forward to hearing what you really enjoyed in year 3. Looking forward to bringing you some more experts, people who, besides me, that can share their experiences. I have some people lined up, so I'm looking forward to that. But more value, more shows, and I get a lot from you. Keep the engagement up. Keep letting me know what you like, what you don't like. Suggestions, feedback, I welcome it. As I said before, if you guys want to promote yourselves, you can on Singing Tips Show, Singing Tips Live Show. If you have businesses, product, services, put in your links. Let's all support each other. We're on this journey together. You guys are making this journey so much better for me. I don't feel so alone, because sometimes it's hard when you're on a journey. But we're in this together, and I thank you so much for all of your support of my video. I think we're at 1,379 views. As I said, my favorite show was my producer Jason, director Jason, talking about the process. I loved the way he did that video. If you guys go to my website, benitacharles.com, you can see the video. I just love the finished product. And I think if you go to YouTube, you'll see the interview with him, that show. I did post that, so if you're interested in seeing that. But thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate your support. Here's a kiss from me to you. I really appreciate it. It means so much to me. Thanks for celebrating 3 years with me. Looking forward to year 4. I can't believe it, but looking forward to it. Looking forward to more shows. And keep that engagement up. Keep the feedback, suggestions, anything you want. If I can do it, I'll try. But let me know what you like. Let me know the type of shows you like. More travel, more guests, more anything. So let me know, and I will see you next time for the next Singing Tips in the new year 4. The new Singing Tips next week. Thank you guys so much. Go to benitacharles.com for more information about me. And I look forward to another exciting year of Singing Tips. So thank you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great week ahead. Remember to never ever give up. Remember to market yourself. Remember that you have something special that the world needs, and it's time for you to do it. I want to encourage you for that. And we're on this journey together, and let's stay with it and stay encouraged. And thank you again for your support, and I'll see you next time. Hey everybody. There is something that I forgot to mention when I did my show just a few minutes ago, my 3rd year anniversary show. And there's something else that I meant to mention for this year, and that is the 60-second singing tips that I do on the Ramsey Unleashed Going Beyond Borders show. That's something that's new in the 3rd year that I've added It's really great tips, just short tips for 60 seconds, but it's something that I wanted to mention to you guys. In addition to all the things that I mentioned about year 3, 60-second singing tips is something that was added in year 3, and it's exclusively on Ramsey Unleashed Going Beyond Borders podcast that's based out of Scotland. So I wanted to mention that, and I thought about, I said, oh, the 60-second singing tips, that's something great for year 3. So if you missed my last broadcast, I was sharing with everyone my top 3 lessons that I learned from year 3 of singing tips, and also my favorite singing tip shows, my top 3 singing tip shows. And also wanted to just add the fact that 60-second singing tips that I do for the Ramsey Unleashed podcast is something new that was added in year 3. So if you missed my last broadcast a few minutes ago, my top 3 lessons that I learned from year 3 is: number 1, always show up. Number 2, there's more than one way to market yourself. And number 3, my fans are amazing. So those were the 3 lessons that I learned in year 3. Also, my top 3 singing tips shows that I enjoyed. Number 1, the show that I did on the band Hanson. They found a way to incorporate their music in their business. They created their own label. They created a beer company, and they also have a music festival. And they incorporate their music in all facets of those businesses. Number 2, my Ask the Expert show was Jason Thompson, my director for Never Ever Give Up, and that aired on October 21st, 2018. And the third one was the Macy's Stories. Hi, Nabucco, thank you. I'm celebrating 3 years of Singing Tips Live, so I'm sharing my top 3 singing tip shows that I enjoyed. This Macy's Stories show aired on April 13th, 2019, and it was a way. Macy's got people to come into their store and just showed everybody how to think outside the box. And of course, the 60-second singing tips this year, I added that, and that's through my work with Ramsey Unleashed Going Beyond Borders podcast. So I just want to thank you guys again for your support. And I want to pop on quick because I just did a show, so if you missed it, the other show I did, you can catch the replay. But I just wanted to mention 60-second singing tips because that's something new for year 3 that I've done. It's been a great ride. It's not over. We're going into year 4, but I wanted to acknowledge all of my fans for your support. I really appreciate it. Much love to you. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much for just being there these 3 years and coming in every week. I will see you next time, but I just wanted to acknowledge 60-second singing tips and just let you guys know that I really support you. I'm really glad for your support. And go to my website, benitacharles.com, for more information about me. And I will see you again on the next Singing Tip show for year 4.